Good morning, Mr. Joseph. Are we on already? Uh, it seems I can't hear from my end. Here.
They've not started. We'll start shortly, sir. Just be patient. It has not started yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. The class will commence in another 5 minutes. So just hold on for a few more people to come in, all right? Thank you. Remember to stay muted.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Good morning once again. Welcome to 3. Today's class is going to be on layout and composition. And we will quickly do a recap of what we talked about yesterday, which was typography and color, right? Because you need typography and color when you want to do layout and composition. So let's go back to what we did yesterday for a few minutes before we step into today's class properly. All right. Okay, can you guys hear me? If you
Yes.
can hear me, okay, good. All right. Thank you. Okay, so yesterday
So I hear you.
thank you so much. Yesterday we talked about type, and it was fun because you got to see that typography can be neutral, can be graphic, can be what's the word now? Can be exotic and casual, right? So you got to see all of those things. You got to see that typography is also everywhere, from your chart to the road sign to the books you read, the products you like, every kind of thing. So typography is actually everywhere. In fact, the scripts, should I say scripts, the slide that we're using for this course is made up of text, and that is in itself typography, right? So we said that typography is the style or appearance of text, which we all agreed yesterday, right? And then these are examples of typography being in everything that surrounds us, in everywhere we look, really. Then someone said I have a message. Okay, not a problem, Mustafa. I got your message. Thank you. You get the slides, so if you have any questions, you could always ask me later on. All right, and you can also go back and watch the class on YouTube. All right, in case anyone is having a similar issue. Okay, so let's keep it going. And we talked about the common types of fonts, which are like branches, like I mentioned yesterday. And then we said they are serifs, sans serifs, and display, right? And we talked about serifs being the stroke on the text, and they are majorly used for classical, traditional projects and publications, magazines, newspapers, and the likes, invites and co, right? Then we moved on to sans, which is just a French word for without serif. And you can see here, I explained to you what serifs are. And when you take off the serifs, you get sans serif, right? And I told you that sans serifs are good for readability because they are legible to the eyes. And I also pointed out that my slides is made with sans serif font. That's why it's easy for you to read, no matter how small they might look to you. And also mentioned to you that it's what is used for websites, for small screens, big screens. It's majorly what is used for screens because it's easy to read when you look at it. That's the major reason. So sans serif is a modern serif font. So it's like saying take off the serifs and then bring it into a more good looking, smooth looking, and easy to read kind of text you get. Then we came to display. Display, as you can already see, is made up of quite a lot. It has scripts, it has black letter, it has fancy, it has all caps, and a lot. It could be all graphic and very, very heavy. So we also agreed that it is not advisable to use display fonts for all the content of your design, except if the content of that design is just maybe like a movie poster or a title of a song, and it's just a short word, like you see Battle of the Bands, which is a very good example, right? And you can see an example of not using not using display font for all your content on this other side. So you see yoga, and then the every week and all the other information are sans serif fonts for easy readability because you're trying to pass an information, right? And we talked about choosing a font, which was more like the interesting part because you needed to understand that fonts have languages. And whichever language you're trying to communicate with, that informs your decision in the choice of fonts that you pick, right? And we talked about casual being friendly and childlike, neutral being all serious and corporate-like, exotic being all romantic and couple-like as well, and then graphic being all fancy and scary as well, right? So, and I also told you you can't see the way this graphic font is. Yeah, you can't use it to type "I love you" and send it to your mom. She will freak out. So you have to decide what font goes for that. Okay. And we did an induction where I told you not to like these fonts because I don't like them. Yeah, but and then combining fonts, which is one of my most interesting parts of this slide, or should I say this class from yesterday, because I love to combine fonts a lot. And I did so well, effortlessly as well. And you could also do that. All you just need to know is what sans serif font goes with a serif, or what script font goes with a sans serif. Or remember, like I said, tall and short, slim and fat, serif and sans serif. Like we also agree that opposites attract, which is where it's easy. And if you're having issues combining fonts, you could always use one. I mentioned that yesterday. You could always use one. Just go and say Lato bold, Lato regular, Lato semi-bold, or Lato italics, and you're good, right? And see what I was saying, long and short, scripts and serif, long and short again, all caps and low caps. That's how you combine, that's how you complement each font because they have to complement each other. And we talked about other important terms, which were very interesting because some of the names were very new to people like us. The kerning, the tracking, leading, and hierarchy. Hierarchy, we know hierarchy, but then kerning, leading, and tracking, they were like quite interesting. But then I mentioned to you yesterday that they can be a bit cumbersome to think about or to try to understand, but the easiest way is do not stress it. If a font does not have a proper kerning or a proper leading or tracking, just move on to another font. And I said that there are millions and millions of fonts options that you can use. Interestingly, you could actually have close to 100 fonts that have similarities. They look alike. So if Montserrat is not working for you, maybe Railway will do it for you. Railway is not working for you, try Metropolis. If Metropolis is not working for you, look for Gilroy. If Gilroy is not working, there's Lato, there's a lot of them. So you just need to know what other options work. And it's that easy, really. So we talked about hierarchy, and as you already know from the principles of design, hierarchy helps to guide the redesign from big to small and the likes. Like you can see here, most important detail takes the bigger size, and then it follows down that same route. Leading, space between lines of text, also known as what? Line spacing. And I also told you that this is very common in Microsoft Word. So if you do type very well, even in your Google Doc, you come across line spacing. So you don't have to be a designer to come across line spacing. As long as you're working on a document, you would experience and you would get to use line spacing. And I mentioned, reminding you that these things come by default and are easy to adjust. If it does not fit into what you want, you could adjust it manually, right? You could adjust it to be closely knit or wider or any how you want it. Same for tracking. You can adjust all of them because they come in by default. Okay? As you can see as well. And I told you that this other important terms, which is up here, is kerning, stretched kerning that I did, and which is what apply here as well. Adjusting spaces, you can see, adjusting the spaces between text, between characters, and so on. And I also told you that some fonts have bad kerning, and if you encounter a font that has bad kerning, do not stress yourself trying to adjust it manually. Sometimes it could be a waste of time. Just look for another font that has similar option or looks similar and go ahead with that, because most other fonts have that feature, right? Then we put all together and we say that all it takes is an interest in typography, and you start to notice more. You start to see more, and you'll be able to do more in your work. I don't know if I told you this, but as a designer, you are the eye of the community, which means that you look beyond what you see. At all times, you look beyond what you see. There's typography everywhere around you. So every other person is probably seeing a poster. For you, are seeing principles. You are seeing perfect color alignment. You're seeing very good choice of typography, you know? So you see differently because you are the designer. And guess what? Within the past 2 days, I've been able to change your mindset from how you used to see design to how you should see design. So if you are going on the street and you're beginning to notice more designs and you're now saying, oh, this is what Joseph was talking about, you get to understand. So yeah, typography is one of my favorite topics when it comes to graphic design, and I'm a big fan of type. Then we went on to see these examples and the likes. I don't know if I told you that some fonts have ligatures, they have swatches, and they have alternative characters. I'm sure you must have seen that. But those come in handy once in a while, but they are not entirely necessary, right? And we talked about these examples. Someone was asking if this Innovate can be done in CorelDRAW or in Photoshop. And I said it can be done in anywhere of your choice. If you want it in CorelDRAW, done. If you want it in Photoshop, done. If you want to draw it on a paper and die cut it out, then paint it with your hand, you could also do that. It's that easy. We looked at all these other examples as well. We looked at this perfectly example of typography fail, because you can see that the person was just having fun rearranging the text and trying to mislead you. This might be a good design to someone because it actually looks good, but then is he communicating the right thing? I gave you an example of people who do designs and have days above 4, while they are trying to say 4 days to go. So they now put a big 4, and because of their design alignment, they carry the days to go on top of the 4 or before in front of 4. Meanwhile, it's supposed to be 4, then days to go. But with the way they now arrange it, it now gives you days to go 4. But they will tell you it's 4 days to go. You cannot read it for people when they see your designs. You will not be there, right? So be very, very deliberate when you are aligning and choosing where to put your text, especially when it's a large amount of text. Like, see, this person did a lot of job failing here to communicate. And we talked about life that is like dominoes, and any wrong move, you change everything and everything falls apart, as you see. And Matthew was asking if there are fonts that come in this shape or this was manually done. And I explained to you guys yesterday that this was manually done. So imagine this font used to write La Liga. It might actually be the same font, but the person just arranged La Liga to be like La Liga is falling. Do you get it? So that's the same thing the person did there. And these are perfect examples of long and short text combinations. So in your next design project, have this in mind. And we call that the end of typography and moved into color. Color was very interesting because a lot of people had quite a lot of questions. Somebody even asked for a wedding color palette. I wonder if that person is getting married soon and they're about to invite us. I would like to come for your wedding. I'll come in color. So color was really interesting. We went online, we got to call Coolors, we checked how to get colors so that you don't stress yourself, how to combine colors and how to just get color combinations easily for yourself. And from the beginning, we said color plays a vital role in everything that we do, including our design. And you can see that there's a road to traffic light here. Red, stop, yellow, wait, and green, go. So, and I said that even our eyes see in color. And I mentioned to you that color theory is how we can understand what color is, or how the basics of color works, or how to combine colors, or how to create color schemes and everything. They are all found in the color theory. And then we all agreed that in our primary and secondary schools, we did primary and secondary color. And we all know that red plus yellow is orange, yellow plus blue is green, red plus blue is purple. And these are 6 colors. And when you add them together again, you get more, which is what makes up the color wheel, right? And from the color wheel, we took a step further where we said another word for color is hue. And I remember advising, or should I say warning you, not to tell your painter that's coming to paint your room that you don't like the hue he's bringing or this. He will fight you because he does not understand what you say, right? Even though some of them might, but do not try it, okay? Is a creative people language. Don't carry it to the artisan, all right? And then we agreed that colors can be saturated or desaturated, which makes saturation a vital part. And I showed you this during the exhibition on the page Coolors. And we also talked about value, which takes you from the darkest part of the color to the lightest part of it, which leads to all white or black, right? Now we came into color schemes, where we started creating some for ourselves. And I said the formula is color harmony. How does that work? How does that work? This way. There are 5 major formulas that we touched yesterday. We said there's the monochromatic, there's the analogous, there's the complementary, there's even a split complementary. So complementary is split into 2. There's complementary and a split complementary. Then there is triadic, which is triangle, and then there's tetradic, which is like a rectangle. So monochromatic is just as the name sounds, like I said. One, mono stands for one. So it's just one color with the saturation or the values put in place, and then you get the other color scheme. Analogous are 3 colors side by side. Any 3 colors side by side will blend together. And complementary are opposites of each other. So these arrows can go all the way around the color scheme, color wheel, and they still complement each other. Split complementary is just a different triangle that just complements on opposite sides as well. Triadic is a perfect triangle. So if this triangle rotates any other place on the page, same thing, you give you another set of colors. And I remember telling you that the Joker, when you saw the movie or you saw the animation and you saw the very, very bright colors or interesting color attire that the Joker was putting on, it was not just color blocking, it was a perfect color combination, right? So when you watch movies, pay attention to this. When you look at music videos, or pay attention to everything around colors, typography, the placement, and all. Then tetradic, and this was quite interesting because it led us into the part where I said you could always use the 60-30-20, 60-30-10 rule, where one color takes the large part of your design and the other color serves as asset. Sometimes you don't necessarily need to use all of them. If you use 2 colors, it could be 3 colors, depending on the project. And we said that we all agree to avoid common mistakes of using colors in their wrong saturated states or in their wrong shades. And like you saw here, everybody was complaining about eyes and everything, and nobody wanted to use glasses. So we moved on quickly to this guy that was much better for our eyes. That was just an example to show you what happens when you do something like this. The audience will just throw their face away from your work and look for something that looks like this. Then we had these side-by-side options of the same website, and everybody was running away from the left one because it was just a complete disaster. I don't think anybody wants to visit that website twice. I know somebody's still cringing right now looking at it, but yeah, this is just an example of how bad design can look. So we said choosing the right color, and this is where we brought back the old language thing, where we were talking about language and typography. And I said in color, it is emotions. The emotions that the color communicates is what helps it to communicate the context or the language of that particular project, right? Finding inspiration was where we had a lot of fun, because I remember telling you that inspiration is everywhere around you. Check from artworks, from notepads, from design, from existing pictures, to websites where you just have perfect color palettes or color schemes created for you. And we had fun going to Coolors and checking all different places, going to color hunts to check, and also Pinterest, like I told you. And I also told you that there are no premium, should I say, premium sites for all this. They might have premium subscription that will give you one or two benefits, but trust me, the free ones are okay. You can use the free ones for a lifetime of design and never need premium. So do not think that premium is necessary. And because color is in everything we do, we also can choose the kind of colors we wear. So you don't just carry anything and just put on. And you'll now be wondering what's going on. So the thing is, every color actually blends, but the challenge is the shade of that color. If you're using yellow and purple, and the yellow is too bright, or the purple is too bright, because a bright yellow can still work on purple, but if the purple is too bright, there might now be a challenge. Do you get? So it's just really the shade. It's just really the shade of color that makes it perfect. And we asked a lot of questions and we answered all the questions as well. In fact, some people didn't want me to end the class because their questions kept coming. And we ended that and called it a very beautiful day. So for today, we will be talking about layouts and composition. You can see how empty looking the space is, and somebody's wondering, Joseph, what's going on here? This cover is different from the other ones. Yeah, because layout and composition can be this simple. It can actually be this easy. And remember, this is just me playing with white space, right? So let's dive into it. So let's know what layout is and what composition is. Okay. Now, what is composition? Composition is, in many ways, composition and layout rather, are in many ways building blocks of design. Remember, I said that the principles and fundamentals are the foundation of design. Now we have moved from the foundation and we have decided that, oh, we want to build a 4-bedroom duplex. Now we need what? Building blocks. That's where what? Composition and layout comes in. You see that? Yeah. Okay. So they give your work structure and they make it easy for you to navigate from margins on both sides of your content. That's like your artboard. So they give your work structure, right? So you know where each thing can be and where what other things can be as well. Now, this is an example. This is a perfect example of layout and composition. This is a composition that has layout. Okay, so every composition has layout. Every composition has layout. So that's why the two of them go together. They work hand in hand. Okay, you can see this layout and it forms a composition. Now, why is composition so important? In short, it is the way your content is arranged on your design, the way your content is arranged. If you unlock your mobile phone and you go to your menu, the way the arrangement of the apps or the folders That's a composition. That's an example for you. It doesn't matter if you're working with text alone or images or elements in a graphic design. Without a thoughtful, well-composed layout, your work would basically fall apart. You see that this particular slide is just made up of text, and still yet the composition looks good. So you get it wrong even with text, but you have to get it right, right? Now you see this one also is just a text layout, but then the composition is good. The choice of fonts is good. You could see a proper use of hierarchy. You could see a proper use of focal points. That's emphasis. You know, you could see a perfect blend in the typography and a blend in the color. Those are all part of your composition. Now, there are 5 basic principles for composition and layout. The key to mastering them is to think like a designer. Remember what I said earlier. As a designer, you look beyond what you see. So you have to think like a designer, right? So it is easier than it sounds actually, because there are design ideas everywhere you look. There are ideas all around. As a designer, you can see ideas from everything around you, right? The 5 principles here will help you transform your work and sharpen your eye. So keep them in mind when next you're working on your projects and you're looking for ways to apply them. First principle, rather, is proximity. The next one, white space. You can see white space aligning here. Please stop drawing on my slide. Thank you. I would not appreciate that. Thank you. All right. White space, then alignment, followed by contrast and repetition. If you were here in the first class on Monday, you would know what white space is, you'd know what contrast is, you'd know what repetition is. And you will also remember that I said some of these principles can appear in other places. Sometimes it could mean exactly the same thing, but it will also mean something entirely different. But I'm sure with balance, we'll come to realize that balance in the principles and fundamentals mean the same thing. Hierarchy in the principles and in typography mean the same thing. So let's see if white space is white space everywhere, or contrast is contrast everywhere, or repetition is still repetition everywhere. Of course, they could be, but let's find out, right? Proximity. Proximity is all about using visual space to show relationships in your content. Visual space in your content. So in practice, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is make sure the related items are grouped together. It's like saying, buy now and get 3 benefits. And then one of the benefits is on the right. The other benefits is on the left. The third benefit is downstairs, which doesn't make any sense. So with proximity, you can put those 3 together, either in hierarchy or in alphabetical order, whichever way. Just put them grouped together. For instance, blocks of text or elements in the graphics design, as in the next page that you see here. Take a look at this. Now, on the business card above, all the icons are on one part. All the text are on another part. That is what proximity looks like. Groups that are not related to each other should be separated to visually emphasize their lack of a relationship. In design, we don't bring familiarity like human beings say, we're not friends, but I can just sit close to them or something like that. No, it don't happen like that in design. In design, if you are not friends, carry the guy with his friends to another side. Do you get? That's why you see that all the elements that are icons are on one side, the elements that are text-based are on another side. That is how proximity works. Same thing on the images down here as well. Simple reason is it's easier to notice and understand at once when you look at it, instead of the elements being mixed or being all over the place, right? Now, white space, one of my favorite principles in design, white space, is an important part rather of every composition. And I also said it doesn't have to be white, that it is an effectively empty space. So you see that white space is the same here as when we talked about the principles. So white space is the same everywhere, right? And you can see a perfect use of white space here. Keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see a shadow. You can see the sun, you can see the white space around the design rather. And then alignment. I think alignment should be one of the easiest principles to understand because it's just as the name implies. You use it all the time. You align text to the right, you align text to the left, or center alignment, It's just how you align your text. And why I say use it all the time is on your charts, your texts are aligned. In your emails, your texts are aligned. When you create a document, your texts are aligned. Sometimes texts are aligned automatically. Did I say sometimes? Every time, actually, they are aligned automatically. But you can now decide to choose or change the alignment to what suits your design. So this is what suits my design. As you can see, this text here. So now let me draw the slide and show you something. This text here, this one, circled here, is aligned to the left. This text here, this alignment that is big, is aligned to the right. You see, can I align it to the left? I could have if I wanted to, but I wanted it to be, see, watch. This is to the left. This is to the left, not to the right, see? So they are always automatically aligned. You just decide where to align it to, right? Yeah, this is a very good example of alignment. You see, it's aligned. The image up there is aligned to the left. The example, this is aligned to the left, everything here. But this text underneath it is aligned to the center. You can see, so there's no straight invisible line on the left, neither on the right, but it is aligned to the center and it's also perfectly aligned, right? Now, when you align objects by yourself, for instance, images or separate text boxes, getting it right can be tricky. The most important thing is to be consistent. What does that mean? You either align all your text to the left or align all of them to the right or align everything to center of your page so that you don't have left alignment, right alignment, middle alignment. There'll be trouble. Okay. Whoever it is that is drawing on my slide, this will be your last warning. It is disrespectful. Please refrain from doing that. Thank you. You don't want me to remove you from this class and you never have to join the practical class at all. Thank you very much. All right. Now you can see this is a very good example. It might help to imagine your content arranged inside a grid. Now, these grids can be invisible to you if you become a seasoned designer. You can just use your eye to see grids somehow. If you just know where to align them and how they perfectly fit. But as a beginner, as we all are here, myself including the rest of you, you could always turn on your grid in your softwares. That will be shown to you during the practical classes, right? So that you know where to align properly. Right. Notice here that there's an invisible line centering each image to the text. Each grouping is also evenly spaced and aligned with what? Equal side margins. See the frames along the sides. Let me show you. Take a look at this. You see this space here, this here, this right here, down to here, same, all this. These are margins. These are margins. The design starts from here, inside this box. That's where the design starts. Every other thing outside that margin, there should not be a text outside that margin. Your image can get to the margin, but it's also not advisable, depending on your design. Do you get? Now, in paying attention to detail, it makes the composition easy to navigate. Without consistent alignment, your work will feel disorganized. Now, you can look at this. There are 3 different frames, but it's saying something. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. There is a Japanese word for this that says slay evil immediately. Is aksuksan, but you understand the reason that these frames are separated is to properly show you what each statement or what each phrase means. See no evil, close your eyes. Hear no evil, close your ears. Speak no evil, cover your mouth. But if first frame is aligned to the left, second frame is aligned to the middle, third frame is aligned to the right, it might still look a bit okay, but guess what? To still be looking a bit disorganized. And everything is aligned where? To the center. Do you get it? So alignment is important. Now, contrast. I'm sure you can already see contrast on this page. Simply put, contrast is that one item, that one principle that helps you differentiate one element from the other or one item from the other. In layout and composition, contrast help you to do many things like catch the reader's eye, create emphasis, or call attention to something important. Like if you look closely to the slide, you see that some of the texts are bold and italicized. Some other ones are just regular. And the word contrast in itself is in a different color and even bigger than the rest of them. The chorus, I have created what? Emphasis. I have called attention to that. And I've called attention to the other texts that are bold and also what? Italicized. Simple. Remember telling you on Monday that I'm not practicing what I preach, but I'm preaching what I've practiced. And you can see it for yourself, right? To create contrast in examples that I will show you, right? Color has been used, more than one style of text and objects of different sizes, which is this, to create emphasis on caution, just color, right? And you see the use of proximity, all the text on one side, and the caution sign on another side. You also see the use of proper spacing and use of margin around the design. You could also see that's aligned to the middle, right? So whenever you look at designs, these are the kind of things you look out for. Don't just say, oh, wow, I love it. All right, so now after loving it, what do you love about it? Do you love the alignment? Do you love the use of hierarchy? Do you love the use of emphasis, the color, the contrast? Do you love the white space? What exactly do you love? I leave that to you. Now, hierarchy, of course, like we already know, contrast is also closely tied to hierarchy. Yes, because hierarchy works in sizes, contrast works both in size and colors. So it helps the viewer navigate. We've talked about hierarchy like 3 times already. I don't think I should talk too much about hierarchy. Somebody here can even teach on hierarchy. It just shows the reader where to begin and where to go next using different levels of emphasis. Like you see here, save the date big, because yes, you have to save the dates. For what? Corey and Anthony. Where is it happening? Las Vegas, Nevada. Oh, it is not even happening. It happened because this is January 1st, 2018. So it's past. Sorry for those of you that didn't didn't get the invitation for the wedding. I was there live. It was really, really nice. It was nice. We had Nigerian jollof, but I'll tell you about it later. So establishing hierarchy is very simple. Everybody knows this. High level of importance to low level of importance. So big, bigger, biggest. That's how it works for hierarchy. Straight. Repetition, which we are going to be repeating, is a reminder that every project should have a consistent look and feel. Let me go back a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, this Aksusan is the same look, the same feel, the same color, right? The same alignment, the same margin. That's a very good example of what? Repetition. So imagine you're doing a design for a campaign, or should I say a conference. So you have to design teasers, you have to design banners, you have to design posters, you have to design brochures, you have to design invites, and do a lot of branding, physical branding. Imagine if you do not use repetition, and then the invite is different from the what's it called, the banner, and the banner is different from the brochure. The brochure is different from the poster. I'm sure you would need to convince everybody over again that these contents are for the same event, right? So to avoid all of that, what do? We use repetition. You can repeat the same color across board, the same font, the same look and feel. So it helps in re-echoing certain elements in your design. You saw that other one. Close your eyes, close your mouth, close your ears. It's the same person. Why we shouldn't have homework? I'm sure this is a project by a few lazy students, but then you can see the repetition in the use of color. Now, can you see disadvantage of homework and the disadvantages of homework, benefits of no homework. So these are slides. You can see that these slides look exactly like this slide. And they both look exactly like this slide. That's consistency. That's repetition. So if it's color palette, use the color palette properly to enforce that look and feel. If it's style of the header, do that. If it's the style of the margins, do that as well, right? Now, putting it all together, you might say layout and composition are the unsung heroes of design because it is easy to overlook their role, but they play part in everything that you do. So let's check these examples out. See what I was saying, that if you don't want to, you shouldn't align some to the left, some to the right, some to the middle. Just put everything in the middle. See how sweet it looks. Imagine this is all to the left. It will not look like the space on the right is too much. Or all to the right to look like the space on the left is angled. But you can still do that as well. It might still look good. But it might be a little organized in your eyes. But take a look at this one. It looks good, right? So look at these examples now. Just a minute. Okay, so these are the examples that I want to show you. You can see these are layouts and composition. The one on the right, everything is aligned to the center. The 6 albatrosses around Nigeria's neck. That's a book cover, right? And you can see the hierarchy is on the title. Emphasis is on Nigeria's. And then there's a person's name up there, the writer's name rather, up there that you go to. The one on the left has St. Valentine's Day in red. Shows you that that's emphasis. Even the first thing you see is what? Ensuring happiness, lead with assurance. Right? So it goes on like that. Everywhere that has importance, you can see that they are put in red. Everything that is important is put in red. See? That's creating emphasis. These are very good. This is made up of columns. These are 4 columns here. And this is a very good composition. Same for the book cover. Okay. Okay, so these are layout and composition. These are the examples to that. So any questions before we go into the power of images? Any questions on layout and composition so far? I'll take your questions now. If you have a question or you are all clear.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Joseph.
Good morning. Who is speaking?
My name is Victor.
All right, Victor, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for walking us through the design process. And that's so insightful. Yeah, my question goes thus. I am a newbie in design and I wanted to explore further in this skill set. The way you marry those colors together, how to combine one color from one design to another is very uniquely featured here. But how can we get to knowing the fundamental? If you are given a project to design, you will not be told which color to be imputed and the likes. So will it be in case of a user story that create this thing, create that thing? So in your own skill set, are you going to conceptualize how to create the color? In this course, there's a way there's a design that you have put in place for us to know which kind of color to combine with which job role with which job aspect or the other. I don't know, maybe you get my question.
Okay. I get you.
How can you come up with a color
how
assessment?
to know the kind of color to use for a particular project?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So I'm guessing that you were not part of the class yesterday because
yes, I just got the invite. No.
Oh, I see. Exactly. Okay. You get the slides, so you go through it, but I'll answer that again. So Adebanjo says, answer to the question is, it depends on the project you want to design. Yes, but I would like to elaborate. So colors have emotions and colors communicate, so they tell a story, right? So like the composition you see here on the left, the ensuring happiness design. Red is used because red evokes love. And why are we using red to evoke love? Because this article is about St. Valentine's Day. St. Valentine's Day is the day of love, right? Nobody should tell you that. You should know that, right? So on the other side, the right hand, you see the book cover that says the 6 albatrosses around Nigeria's neck. Nobody should tell you Nigeria is green, white, green. It is that easy. So you just know that this is what this project wants to communicate. And how do I communicate this with what color? Black. Black communicates class. If it's for class you're going for. Red communicates danger, communicates love, communicates care, if it's that you want to communicate. White, the same, has its own different emotions and different things that it communicates like that, right? So you just know what you want to communicate and find the color that best communicates that. That's how it works. Okay. Adeokun,
thank you
go
so
ahead.
much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Adeokun, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon and good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes.
Except you're in a different time zone.
Happy Valentine's, sir.
Happy Valentine in November. You're not serious. All right, go ahead.
Okay. My question is on that the image by the left, sir.
Hello, sir.
Can you hear me, sir?
Good morning. The question, please.
Yeah, I'm actually asking my question, sir. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
I can hear you.
Okay, my question
Question.
is,
Who is the other person talking? Please stay muted.
Okay.
my question is
Hello?
the image. I think somebody else is. My question is on the image. We
Go
have
ahead.
the alignment there. We have the justified alignment. We have a centered alignment. We have a left alignment inside the image. For so, can we have um a design to have a left alignment and yet it will still be just like is following a pattern of an alignment? Looking at that, Saint Valentine's Day is the left aligned. The ensuring happiness is the center line, yes, inside that
Mm-hmm.
box. And if you look at even the image below, there's an alignment though the white space was evidently visible in that smile your happiness is assured down, but
Mm-hmm.
still an alignment there. So can we
Mm.
have a design if we look at the content below the imagine a gift, the red space, there's a left alignment there, but everything is still
Mm.
justified. Can we have a design that we can there can be several alignment, but everything will still be following the pattern of an alignment?
Okay, so let me to answer your question, right? I'll do it this way. So in this kind of design, this publication that you see here, it is broken into segments. Like you can see that there are lines to each segment, right? Ensuring happiness is in its own segment. St. Valentine's and the logo in a segment. Then the image and the old text here down here are in a segment. This bottom strip right here is also a segment, right? So another thing is for each segment, you could decide the alignments to use. That is dependent on the kind of project. This is a, what do we call it now? This is a publication design, like I said. So you can get away with that, with aligning to the left, aligning to the center, and the likes. You can get away with that. But I cannot replicate that on this other design on the right hand side because it's a different project entirely. Do you get it? So yeah, that is it. You can have more than one alignment on a document, but it's totally dependent on the kind of document. Thank you. All right. Any other questions before we move into image and the part?
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. We don't hear any audio. There's no audio, sir.
Yes, there was a little glitch, but I'm back now. So if you can hear me, I'm sure.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, sir.
Thank you, Ramsey. Thank you. Okay, good. So I said we'll be talking about the power of images. And I think it was yesterday, I told you that images play like 70% role in your design. And then typography takes like 30%. But I also told you that if that typography that takes 30% is not properly done, 70% falls apart, right? So images play a very, very big role. And this is going to be like a semi-exhibition practical class like, right? So let's go. And this is going to be interactive as well. So I'll need you guys to be ready to spot your spot the things in the image and tell me as good as you see them, right? So our first image you see here is a sales flyer. Now, the image on the left is the original image. The image on the right is the edited image to fit into what I wanted. What I wanted, right? So now tell me the difference in the images. I want to know. Do not worry about the typography yet. Just tell me the difference in this image and this image. All right, let's go. If you want to speak, remember to raise your hands. Remember to raise your hands first before you go ahead and speak. Please. Thank you. Damin says there's a difference in the hoop basket. Very observative. Lucci says the background. The background? What happened to the background? Tell me. Lucci, tell me what happened to the background. There's difference in distance. Oh, okay. Go on. Yeah. One is bigger. Yes. So in image usage, right? You can edit. So there are several things to do to an image. It can be edited. Yes, the white woman was removed. Very, very observative. Maybe it's because we're trying to address a black audience. Yes, that's why the white woman was removed, because I mean, it's a black audience, right? Then, so I said, in adjusting, in using images, you can edit the images. Images can be edited to fit into what you want. Now, in editing images, you don't have to cut off somebody's neck and put another person's neck there. No, it could just be resizing the image. Like this one you see here was resized to be this big on the design. Now, that's one part of editing. Two was, oh, this basket is torn. I don't think I want to sell that. I want to sell a proper basket. So what? That was replaced with a proper basket. I don't want to tell people that, oh, if you come to the court, the basketball court, the basket is torn. It doesn't make sense, right? So took that off and brought this in. Because I'm dealing with black audience and I don't need the white lady to be in the picture, the picture, she was taken out, and that space in the middle you see there, right? So that is another form of editing. That's removing. You could subtract. That's like subtraction. You subtract. So that lady subtracted. The basket that's done subtracted from there as well. Then, if you notice, some of the buildings are no longer there, but the sky remains. The sky remains. The sky remains. So your images can be used the way you got them. They can be edited to fit what you want. I think I mentioned this yesterday when we were talking about the FMN ads. I mentioned this yesterday. You can edit them to fit into what you want, right? Which is what you see as a practical example. Now, I'm seeing a few comments. The view of the net is broad. Netboard is clearly seen. The third person is no longer there. The color too was changed. The color was not changed much. It was a very slight change, but yeah, good eye. There's a little difference in the color saturation level. Yes, yes, yes. The image is now in portrait. Oh, that's also a good one. So exactly, I was talking about that yesterday. To make sure that the image becomes in a portrait form and not landscape, I had to do what? Increase it to larger than life size, which is what you see here. All right. A drop shadow was attached to their hands to make it project from the text. Very good observation. Yes. So that is creating an illusion that this text is not hanging in the sky. These people's hands are on top of it. That is part of the edit and part of paying attention to details that the designer does. Okay, so what else do you notice in the text? What else do you notice in the text? What else do you notice? Nobody should send a direct message to me. Send it on the group. Okay, send on the group. Mirror text. Good, like a reflection. Like a reflection. Very good. Alignment. Text was reflecting, yeah. Alignment in text, yes. So what alignment is the text? Tell me, what alignment is the text? Center alignment. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Center alignment, yeah. So did you see a focal point? Did you see the focal point? Yes, Shegun, please go ahead.
Okay, so good morning, Mr. Joseph.
Good morning.
So the focal point for me is the cut. That's the emphasis on the cut. It's in bold character, and also the contrast with the background of the sky, the blue sky. You can see that the blue sky, the hue of the blue sky falls down. So the cut now contrasts with it. The white really shouts in our face. If you compare it to Itono, Itono is the logo. So, but the logo is not what we are selling. Of course, we know it's the logo, but the cut, which is, if I'm going to really interpret it, is like it's a real estate company trying to sell a real estate. Then, of course, the emphasis is now on the cut that is within the real estate. So these are part of the perks in the real estate, which we draw one to buy.
The facilities. Good.
Facility, yes.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yes, Matthew, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Mr. Joseph. Good to have you
Good
again. We
morning.
really appreciate
Good
what you're
morning.
doing. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank
Well,
you.
I'm sure you're the one that did this. Even if you are not the one, I want to credit the person that did this work. If you look
I
at the
can
image
tell the,
very well,
I can wait. I can tell the person to send me their account details, and I send it to you so you credit them. Is that fine?
don't worry. You need to be credited. You've really done a wonderful job. You know, the way you've been teaching us has been so simple and so easy to understand, and it's a
Thank you
pleasure
very
knowing you.
much.
God
Thank you.
bless you.
Thank you.
Well, I look at
Amen.
the work, and what struck me more is if you look at the landscape and the portraits, the adjustment on the net. I am sure that you added the person added the net, because the net
Yeah,
on
yeah, I
the
did. It was me. It
portraits.
was me. Don't stress
So
yourself. It was me.
you see, it shows this is a very brilliant work, and it, just looking at this alone shows that they are trying to sell, because most of the estates talks about selling court and whatever. So when you see this, even when they are not having too many images of houses that were selling, the image itself and the flyer talks about how that is selling. The vocal point is, okay, we are selling, which is the court that they talked about when they are selling, and it's telling you that they are now selling. And the basketball shows you that, you know, you can get what you want to get easily from what they are selling, and everything that, even though the image is not talking, it's showing the picture, but it shows you of what you are going to get and which is the value that you are paying for, and which really talks.
Very
And
good.
you know, from the company name to what the flyer is talking about and now selling, everything reflects what the flyer should be talking about.
Very good. Very good observation. Thank you so much, Matthew. Thank you. Chase Subori, go ahead, please.
All right. Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak again. So what I'm saying here, I'm saying something I don't know if I really listen very well to what they're saying. I'm not sure I agree with some of the points some of the things they pointed out, because I don't know. I think most people are looking at the image, they're interpreting this from the perspective of what is appearing here, like the image we have here. But I think what they mean is just, you're just using this picture to speak in a metaphorical way, right? Like, saying the boy is in your, there's a saying, the boy is in your court, guys.
Yeah.
You have decision to take to purchase this. You can actually do it.
The property,
you can actually do it. So they are not actually saying a court will be part of
that.
the
There's a
pegs
basketball
that
court
comes.
there, right?
Yeah, a football court will be part of the pegs that come with it. So this is like a speaking metaphorically using picture. That's what I see it as.
Okay. So that's a smart one, right? But let me just help you clear that. So it is both a basketball court as a facility and both a metaphor. Okay. The ball is in your court, obviously. You see someone trying to put the ball in the net. That's obviously a metaphor. But we're also telling you that you could also be this person playing basketball when you buy this property, because you have enough space, you could create your own court. You get it, right? So yeah,
I get it.
Thank you very much for that observation. Okay, Daniel, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Thank you. I think this is a combination of everything you've been teaching us since about 3 days ago.
Exactly.
What I see here is just selling luxury with few words and with a lot of graphic and images, with a lot of creativity, image creativity, and so on. It's not
Mhm.
just about selling properties, about, okay, I'm selling luxury, but then this is what I'm offering. Like, it's not just a property you can just get from anywhere or buy one, get two free. More of passing your message across through design,
Mm.
through creativity, and so on. So that's what I see basically.
Visual
And it boils
communication.
down to what designers do. Like, you just have to be creative enough to point out, to project your message to whatever you are putting out there. It doesn't necessarily have to be in words only. Image can just pass on the message and it will be clear enough. So that I think that's what you did here with this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. It seemed like another number of people have things to say about this image. Okay, let me break it to you that we have a few more images to go. So get ready. Emmanuel, go ahead, please. After Emmanuel, we'll go to the next image. So Emmanuel, go ahead.
Okay. Good. Thank you very much for the class, the efforts, and everything. So basically, I think you said something previously of how we need to think as designers. So now this will bring me to a question. I mean, when we're asked to share our views on this design, quite a lot of things were said. So then how then can we, I mean, you as the designer, you have a thought in your mind when creating the design, but then the viewers also interpret it in different ways. I'm sure if you take this design to give to 10 persons, each of the 10 persons might have different views. So how then can we pass out the message that doesn't bring that conflicting view? I mean, this is well clear. This message is direct, but still we have like several views to it. So how can they strike the balance?
Okay, so before I answer your question, I will ask you a question, right? So in all the views, the different views everybody has pointed out, did you think they were all to the same goal? Did they all say the same thing in different words?
Okay, yes, to an extent. I mean, if I was to speak, I would have I've gone with the guy that talked about how this is just metaphorical, stating that okay, it's you attaining your goals and other things. But then after your explanation, it still boils down to mean the same thing. That, okay, you get the land and you get whatever this estate with a basketball court in it. So then it seems to be conflicting.
Okay, so let me help you here, right? As the designer, because I designed it, right? So it's easy for me to even tell you that this is what I'm trying to communicate. So I'm not trying to explain another person's work. That's why I put it there for. So it's easier for conversations like this. So there's such a thing as emotional appeal in marketing. I know this is not a marketing class. In marketing, in advertising, there's such a thing as emotional appeal. And when it comes to selling, you need to sell to people's emotion. Why are you selling to their emotion? Because people will always buy things that they like. People will always buy things that appeal to them. People will not buy things that they don't like. You will not finish eating somewhere and you don't like the food today and you come back tomorrow and say, let me just eat it, I'm hungry. I'm sure you understand. So you would emotionally be drawn to this as there will be basketball court in this place, or I have a chance to take a shot at this property, right? So that brings to the metaphor. Then there's the other part of buy and get. People like giveaways, people like freebies, people like pro bonos. So if I'm saying you buy this land and there's a basketball court in the property, that's a win for you. Even if you didn't play basketball before, you want to learn because now you have court, a free court. You didn't create the court when you get there. You didn't build it from scratch. Do you get? So it's a marketing strategy. You know what you're looking out for. So when you see this, it will appeal to you in that context. The person that is looking for a basketball court all their life has finally seen one. Sweet. The person that is a basketball fan, even if they don't want the basketball court in their house, but they play basketball, this will also appeal to them. Do you get it now? So it will appeal to people differently. But the end goal is that they should come and what? Buy. Because you see, it is available in 300 square meters and 500 square meters. And it is what? Now selling. So whether you are a basketball fan or you love the idea of having a court, or you want to take charge by winning at life with the ball in your court, just know that the end game is to sell. So every other person that mentioned whatever it is that they like and whatever it is that they saw and how they explained it, they still went back to what? Buying and selling. So that is it. Enough of the marketing class. Let's get back to design. Okay, so to the next picture. Now, look at this. The hand holding a card and holding a phone. And of course, one key. In fact, one key. Now, translated into the design, it becomes two keys. The hand is no longer holding a card, but now holding two keys. The hand holding the phone screen is not just empty, it is now a list of debit alerts. So what do you see? If you have a question, go ahead. If you have an observation, go ahead. Remember, it is not just about what the flyer is saying, right? Look at it as how was this achieved? So let me give you a short insight. When you see a flyer like this, let's say you didn't know about all of these other things on the side, didn't know about any of this, but you see this flyer now. As a designer, first of all, do not think of it like, oh, I want to buy, or oh, I want to sell. If you want to buy, that's fine as well. But look at it from a designer perspective first and say, what are the elements in this design? And do what? Dissect it. I call it decomposition. Decompose it. Take it apart. So key, take out the key. Phone and hand, take it off. Another hand holding the key, take it off. Text on the top right, take it off. Text on the bottom left, take it off. Logos, take it off. This blue rectangle shape down here, take it off. And when you finish taking it off, you will have something like this. And then you, as a designer now, you already understand what it takes to create these things. Then you can recreate yours or even do yours better and say, oh, this is what this person did, but I think if you had done it this way, it would make more sense. Or if you had done it this other way, you know? So that's how designers look at things. So now, tell me, what do you see? I see Daniel's hand up. So Daniel, go on. Oh, it's your hand from the last time.
From the last time, but then I would like to say something.
Okay, go on.
From the last time.
All right. If you raise your hand after you answer or ask your question, remember to drop your hand, please. All right, go on, Daniel.
Okay. From what I see here,
yes,
composition and so on, you could I see you could make payment either via transfer or via card, and I can also see that you could have probably a home or something, payment for a home or payment for a property or something. But then the hands holding a phone and holding the ATM card to me is passing a message of you could make payment via various platforms, either through your card, swapping or something, or you could also make transfer through your phone.
Okay. Let me help you out, Daniel. You having like a mix. These images on the right hand side are the elements used in creating this
Okay,
design
the
on the
one on the
left.
left. Okay.
So, which means that the one on the left is a finished design. The images here have been put into processes of refining and editing to fit into this so that they do what? Communicate visually what the information on this flyer is saying. So that card does no longer exist in the design. As you can see here, it's now keys.
Okay, I get the message.
Now keys. Now look at what the text says. The text says swap out your rent debit alert with a brand new house key. What is the message trying to say? Stop paying rent. Come and become a landlord. Do you get it? So
I get
it's
it.
not about payment. It is not about payment. They're just trying to tell you that if you calculate all your house rent you have been paying, it can reach 230 million. Gather it, come and buy a house. You get it? All right.
Yes.
So
Thank you, sir.
Adeokun, go ahead, please. You're welcome. Adeokun, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. First thing I wanted to talk on the last image was that and it also appears here, the typography used have the same thing. And that's the first thing I see that the same typography has been used, just that making use of the family fonts, the bigger ones and the light thin has been what has been consistent in the design. So also I think just one font is used here. Same consistency is also appearing. The same family font, bringing same just one font, and the white space is so evident in this design. And also the text alignment is kind of justified alignment, so making it balanced. So it's not that one element is one side heavy than the other. The image is just centered while the text are side to make the um, work looks balanced. So and that's why it was able to spell out because the first information that I will see when I look at this image is swap out your rings, because that's the main thing that
exactly
I want you are passing to me, swap out. So and it's very evident in red sign. Anything that I feel like anything that has this red, this it always calls for attention. So
it could be any color actually.
yes, but the color actually draw the attention. Swap out. So
Yes, that's the idea. Thank
so
you. Thank you. Jesubori, go ahead, please.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't raising hand though. I'm still analyzing the image. That was the hand before. Let me raise it down.
Oh yeah, remove it. Oh yeah, put it down. Thank you. Okay. Before Lucci and Matthew, I have a question from you too. Somebody says the publication design, is it still possible to use one font for the whole thing or two fonts, right? I think if you look at this, you can see that there are three fonts here. Now, I will tell you the reasons why there are three fonts. One is, remember I mentioned that the design are in segments. So this bottom part that has this lady is a different segment from the entire design. This is a bottom strip from the entire design. That is why it has a different font, right? Now let's move on. But this ensuring happiness is the same font with smile, your happiness is assured. Same font. Now, St. Valentine's Day, how best did you show your love? This font and the font in the entire article is the same. Is the same. So you can stick to one font or you can stick to two, depending on how the what works for the article or the project. Do you get? 1 or 2 fonts is okay. All right. So okay, Lucci, I think she disappeared. Okay, Matthew, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. And you said something the other time that really struck my spirit when you talk about when a graphic designer is designing to sell to people. So for the first time now I understand pictorial things comparing to letter image thing. Thank God I'm attending this class. So I see how important a picture could determine what you are passing and when you are also using a text to also relate to. And this has come to play with what we are having on this page and the one on the left now. Because for every flyer that I get or any billboard that I see and the one that I have pictures, the first thing that gets your attention is the picture that is there before you start reading anything. So when you see the picture, you are like, oh, okay, what's this picture talking about? Oh, okay, it's party thing or it's a movie thing. Then you start reading the word. When I see this, if I'm being given this flyer, I'm just being given this flyer. The first thing that struck my mind is I'm seeing a hand that is holding a key, and I'm seeing the hand that is holding the key is even, which is the in terms of hierarchy, is the one that is even speaking first. So I'm seeing the hand that is holding the key. I'm like, oh, am I meant to get a house or what? Then I'm now looking at the picture that is holding the alert. Then my eyes now going to the message, which the contrast is not telling me, okay, I should swap my paying of rent. Oh, so I've been wasting money paying my rent, which I can easily get a house for this amount of money, which I can easily say, oh, I can afford this instead of being to be paying 1 to 2 million, 5 million every month to get this. And I look at the message, then I look at how I can get in contact with them. So I feel with everything that you've been talking about, the font that you use, the hierarchy, it shows how it plays. And when it comes to pictorial graphic, I think what you are using speak more than even what you are typing out. And I really want to give kudos to this work. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you. Mr. Matthew always have the kindest of words when he's asking this question or giving an assessment. Thank you again. So we move to the next image. Lucci was here before. She was raising her hand, but I think she changed her mind. I don't know, maybe I answered that question somehow, but if you have another question, I'm always ready. So our next image is a guy playing golf. And this is Ituno again. For those of you, let me just first say, this is metaphorical. So, all right, Lucci, good. So this is metaphorical. So don't think that when you buy the land, there will be a golf course. Anyway, you can create the golf course. It's up to you, but know that it is metaphorical and it is also real. There is also a sports zone for you in this property, but we're not talking about buying and selling. So go ahead. Tell me the difference in both images. Adeokun, why are you opening your mouth? What happened? She's laughing. Yeah, Adeokun, what happened?
Sorry, sir. I wanted to check the reaction, like maybe raise my hand, kind of like that. But I don't know if it pop up. Like I thought we just do one kind of something like WhatsApp.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay, but you have something to say about this image?
Yeah, I can still say that I like the central alignment, sir. Both the image and the text, everything is just same. That's
I'll be waiting for somebody to notice something. If you notice it, then
sir, the background.
I guess you what I noticed, I
Sorry, hold
guess
on, Matthew.
okay.
The
Sorry,
background
sorry.
and the ball. So
Adeokunle is
the
speaking,
man
please.
just shoots the ball up, and you can see the ball there, very small
Oh,
at the edge side, and the background there's a touch on the background. So it's just like yeah, this thing they call content aware, something that you just obscure the background to go up the days.
Adeokunle is a designer. Come and teach me.
I know this. I watch it.
Okay,
Just saw it
okay,
on YouTube. So that's the thing that happened to the
okay,
background, because looking at the background of the image is very short, but yeah, it's kind of taller. So I think there's an addition to do.
okay, cool. So for those of you that are wondering what Adeokunle is talking about, you find that out in the practical classes. Okay. Now let me also help you out. All these things I've been saying, you find that in the practical classes. You could do yourself a favor by writing them down so that when you get to the practical class, you could ask me or ask the person teaching on that particular topic. Okay. All right. In the chat box, Gani, you said the color and background difference. Yes, a touch of color. Say the sky was removed and the moon. Moon? Where did you see moon? There's no moon, oh, but the sky was removed. Okay. Okay, Machi, you can go ahead now.
Well, when I check the two images, the one fine, because it's just an image, and the second one is a finished product of a graphic work, and it took me time to dissect, because like what I said, I deal with receiving tracks, e-flyers and whatever, and it took me a little while to understand what the flyer is talking about. But when I looked at the almost right hand corner, I saw the go ball going. So I now had to read again. I'm like, okay, what's this flyer trying to tell me? That means it shows that this is my opinion. That means it shows that this company, Ituno, they are selling, and on Saturday they are going to the site to check. So if you look at the guy that is playing golf, as he has shot the ball and is looking straight into where the ball is going, which is the ball. So they are now telling us that this Saturday they are taking people to the ground to check the land. So if you are going to buy, you will not take the decision of by the time you get there, you will take the decision if you like the thing or not. But it took me a while to for the first time in since what you have been showing us this thing. This one took me a while to like, what's this one talking about? But when I now saw PRO and I saw the ball going and his focus was, oh, this boy is going somewhere. They are telling that this Saturday we are going to inspect the land for you to take your decision. That's my observation. So I don't know if I'm right or wrong.
Okay, let me help you. Yes.
Thank you once again, brother.
You're very welcome, sir. So, just to point out real quick, well, that's a good point of view. But when we say on Saturday we go pro on the green, it's a metaphor for saying we go pro golf, like professional golfer. You get like a professional basketballer, a professional tennis player, that kind of thing. So we go pro on the greens. That's what it's trying to say. It's like an euphemism, right? But it's just telling you that there's a sports zone on this property, and on Saturdays you have the liberty to play whatever sport, even golf. Do you get it? So yeah. Missy says the picture of the man was brought forward. No, it wasn't. What happened there? It was enlarged in size increasing. You know, I said you can edit an image by increasing the size. You can also edit an image by cropping out the parts that you do not want, which is what happened. After the image was resized, the other parts were cropped off. Okay, so Matthew, are you raising your hand again?
I have a question. I
Okay.
have a question
Okay, for
concerning
the
that
previous
image.
image?
Yes,
Okay, let me go back then. Yeah, you are.
because we are having, I mean, in two shape of the image, the landscape and the portrait. And I have worked with people that you tell them that, okay, I want the same thing. I mean, I think I don't, most times I've always tried to choose landscape. Can we still achieve the same aim using the landscape instead of the portrait that it was used now to get the same end product of what we are having in portraits? Because most time, can both scape be used? Because there are times that the person that wants it in landscape and not portrait, and you do portrait and he tells you, sorry, I want it to come in landscape. So can we have it both in landscape or and in portrait? That's my question.
Okay, that's a good one. It can come in any format. Portrait, yes. Landscape, yes. So just like Adeokun said, I think scale sometimes depends on the print or platform the design will be used for. Exactly. So you just have to ask the client, where is this design going to be used for? Client says, okay, I'm printing. What size are you printing? I'm printing A5. You go and make your design into A5. Client says, I'm printing a landscape banner, 6x3. You go and make your design into 6x3, right? So this image you see is originally landscape. If the design were to be needed for a landscape space, of course, it will even be easier to do landscape because I would not really need to increase the image to fit into the portrait part. All I would probably need to do would just be to adjust the image to probably the left and put the text on the right or something, and it will just fall into place easily. You get? So yeah, the size can be altered at any time. Even after the design has been done to this, you can still design it into landscape. So our next two images now. You can see this is a business card, and this most likely is majorly text-based. I'm sure we've seen a few things. You can look at the business card, you can see repetition. You can see alignment. You can see the use of proximity. And you can also see lines. You could see shapes. You could see balance. All the elements, all the fundamentals, principles, typography, color, everything is put into play on that image on the right. The image on the left, however, is a piece of land wrapped with a ribbon. This is also another Valentine ad. Let your gift stand the test of time. Of course, land will stand the test of time. Let them see love at first sight. That's a metaphor. But you get the idea. Just tells you you could gift a land to someone. That's the reason for the ribbon, really. Straight to the point, simple and concise. But you see how image is playing a very good role. See how aligned the texts are on the left. Everything is aligned to the left. Very well done. Right? That's how it is. Same applies here. Aligned to the left. Anybody has anything to say about these images? Hold on. A lot of guys have been speaking. The ladies in this class, oh yeah, come and speak. Luchi, Yemisi, Amina, all of you come and speak. Yeah. While we're waiting for you people, Jesubori, go ahead.
All right. Thank you once again. So
You're welcome.
I like this one in particular. Why I like this
You
is
you like this one in particular. Very interesting.
yeah. I think I've noticed something about you. I've
Ah,
seen a lot of your designs. You're
you've
a
seen a
lover of
lot.
no, I mean the few
I'm
I've
a
seen.
I'm a lover of what? Go on. Tell me a
White
lover of what?
space, white space. You like to make it very few and top notch. So I like the fact we are talking about
Yes, I'm a lover of white
but
space. Thank you for that.
yeah.
Go on.
Well, we were talking about purchasing your own plot or land, however you want to put it. But then you see, the first thing that caught my attention was this love at first sight. Now the site here is not like the usual site that goes with this saying. This is a site that speak about land, when you're on site, working on
Exactly.
site. And it even shows that even the site, half of the site is almost being mowed out by this caterpillar or whatever we have here. And then the ribbon, the ribbon is green, which signifies, lands, green plants and all that, because that's exactly
Exactly.
what's going on saying this here. Then another thing is I discovered that even the lettering here, there's love at first sight, and the ribbon, you kind of soiled them a little with the sand around with
Yes, so
so
that they are in the
it
sand.
still make it very it just still make it very real, as if you laid everything on the floor there and it has been soiled a little. So for me,
get the
that's
gist.
one thing I just like the wordplay here at first sight.
You-
Then another thing is I think it speaks of probably let your gift stand the test of time. I think the best gift
Yes.
you can probably give a lifetime partner is
Somebody
a land,
is real
because
estate.
land is one of the gifts that can actually stand that might even stand more than any other thing. We're
See?
talking about land here.
So it means that I've given you people Valentine's gift idea for next year. I've given people idea for Valentine now. Just go and save your money and come and buy land. Also, remember
Don't put us in
that
trouble. Don't put us in trouble.
it's just an idea. Whatever you do with it is up to you. Gani
Because
says, I think
Madam
you're
will watch it
space
with
and I
me.
love it too. I see. I see. No problem. I love space. I told you people that white space is one of my favorite principles. And as you can see, white space is sweet. And I'm sure if this design was crowded, you will not be saying all these things you are saying. It's because white space is at play. You're enjoying it. Right?
But sir, I hope
the design is real.
Gani is speaking. I hope
Sorry,
I
who's
love
speaking?
space. Gani is speaking.
Okay, Gani, you remember to always raise your hand so that I can ask you to speak so that we have order. Thank you. But go ahead.
In as much as I like space too, like you like it, I hope it will not be making other images smaller.
So it depends on how you use it.
Smaller. Because you want to have space and you have limited time. That you may at the end of the day want to minimize your weddings and all other things just to create that space. I hope that will not be costing the weddings. Like, let your gifts stand the test of time. It's small, but it's legible.
Right.
I hope it's making it small. Though I like the space too, I like it. Anything I do, I always like to see this kind of thing. At least it makes a difference and it makes it look beautiful.
Okay, so I would let me help you, right? In communication, I've entered another class now. In communication, you have to pay attention to what people want to see, what you want to communicate. So because I want, this design can easily just be let them see love at first sight, or it can be let your gift stand the test of time and we're still good. Because you don't have to say too much to actually communicate what you want to communicate. Your image plays a major role. Remember, I said 70 what percent. I said 70%. Remember, I said 70%. And I said your image takes 70%. So the image already takes 70%. The text is a complementing factor. Have you seen those Nike ads where you just see a short text that says, just do it? And it's going to be very small. Somewhere, it's going to be very small. The text will be small, say, just do it. But you have a big white space with just a little image somewhere. Just like we have in the cover of this slide. Where is it again? Layout and composition. Let me show it to you. See, layout and composition. Big white space and a very small circle somewhere up there. Remember that less is more in design. In fact, in life, less is more. People that talk too much, people don't like them. People don't really like people that talk too much. I'm sure that if we're not discussing design now and we're just here talking for the past 2 hours plus, you'll probably be feeling like, this guy is talking too much. Exactly. Too much of everything becomes bad when it is not in the right proportion. So white space is very good. Don't really think that, the text can now be very small because you're trying to use enough space. Is this legible enough? Yes. That's all you need. Can it be bigger? Yes. But would it look good? Another question to ask. Do you get? Emmanuel say not a financial advice, they will say. Exactly. Okay. They can go ahead, please. Remember, if you have a question or you have an observation or you have an addition, raise your hands and I will give you license to speak. Okay, so that we don't disrupt each other when speaking. Do you get? We've been doing so well so far, so let's continue in that light. Adele,
Thank you.
go ahead, please.
Yeah, before I see what I want to ask a question, sir.
Okay,
so
go on.
The business card, is it that there's 2 segments on that second business card, sir?
The back, that's the back of it.
Yes,
the
sir.
Back and front. 2 segments. So remember yesterday when we talked about balance?
Yes.
We talked about asymmetrical balance and symmetrical balance. What you see on that back page is what? An asymmetrical balance in play. Now, from the principles of layout and composition we talked about today, what you also see there is proximity in play, where we put all the items that are the same in one part and the logo on the other part. You get it?
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you,
that's
sir.
it.
The
You're
first
welcome.
card, I so much love the white space and everything.
The cover. There's white space on both of them.
Yes, but that there's a background. There's the logo.
There's a pattern.
Yeah, pattern is inside the first one, which makes it look unique.
Yes.
And even so, the colors makes it look unique. So kind of like the text and the arrangements. I so much love the text and shift arrangement.
Good.
But when it comes to this manipulation image, so you really tried because I could see so many things here that. But I noticed something, sir. I noticed that the Tunu logo and the other images and the other text have not, they don't follow same pattern alignment. Even in the other images, it own logo is a bit not closer to the other
It's
text
not aligned to
alignment.
them.
Yes, I've noticed it in the other images too that I've
So,
seen.
okay, I would answer you now by saying that the logo is a different component of the design. So in most cases, it doesn't align with what you're, because the logo is sort of like a part of the margin. In some, you see, on this one, it's in the middle. In this one, is at the side. In this one, is on the other side. So it's almost not in alignment with the text. It's in his own uh, planet. Okay. All right. So okay, Luchi has a question. Go ahead.
Okay, hi, good morning.
Good
So I
morning,
have a question.
Joseph.
He,
Yes, go
the
ahead.
other speaker um, made a light to what I wanted to ask. It's about the logo and the text you use on your design. The fonts, they're
Okay.
not the same thing because I know that I've always pondered in my mind if a design
Mm.
should carry the same font as a company's logo or not. So I don't see the consistency in your logo and the font you
Mm.
use on your design. So please can you shed more light on it? Thank you.
Okay. So that's a very thoughtful one. But first of all, the font used for this logo is the exact font used for this text that you are seeing here. First, which is the same. You might be saying, oh, it's too bold or it's too not bold or whatever. Look at it closely here. See the U and see the U.
It kind
Does
of
it
looks
strike
the
something?
same. Yeah.
It looks a bit different, right?
I think because of the spacing or something.
It looks like the same to you. Good. So a logo is not is an identity, right? So let me put it this way. This is what I look like without these glasses. This is what I look like. And so this is my logo, right? Now, when I want to communicate, my words might not sound the way my logo looks like or the way my face looks. You get? Which means in some days, I can be communicating like this. In some other days, I might be communicating like this. Does that change my face? No, it doesn't, right? Because my face is my logo. So my logo does not change, but my text can change. I could wear a different outfit today, wear a different one tomorrow, and another one tomorrow, which means I can change my kind of text. But for brands, they usually use a specific or two specific kind of text so that there's consistency in their branding, right? So for it to know, as you've seen, this is the font, and this is the same font that has been used in all the other parts, as you see. So your logo does not need to have the same font with your font in your design. But that is up to you, the designer. If you want it to be the same thing, by all means, do that. But most times, because of how logos are, your logo might be a cursive font. And I don't think if you want to communicate, you want to be using a cursive font. Sorry, cursive means script. Might be a script font, which is like a display font. And remember, you don't use a display font for all of your communication because it's supposed to be just for headings or simple text that are not much. So it's up to you really, but it is not compulsory to have the same font for your logo and the same font for your text. All right. Jesubori, go ahead. Oh, he dropped his hand. That was a mistake. All right. Okay, yeah, you're welcome, Oluchi. Matthew, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, once again, Mr. Joseph. I just also want to buttress your point about logo, which I understand about logo. It's just that this Itunu is in letter. Logo sometimes could be a representative of anything. So we should not worry about the font of logo. That one is always remaining constant. It's just that Itunu is just in letter. So when you are bringing somebody's logo in, you don't alter the logo. You just put in the logo the way it is, either in letter, the font it is. You don't touch it. I think they are always constant. So what I want to, I hope I did well, sir.
You did. Another example of logo is this Kraken. This Kraken is the logo. You can see that shape there.
Something, yes. It's a
logo.
So
my text. Go on.
My question now is this image here. I'm just trying to just be in your position and see how creative and how wide your mind is in exploring image to pass your information. Your designs. And I looked at this. I was like, how long it took you to? I don't know. Maybe most of these images are somewhere that you can just go in and pick them. But for you to pick this particular one, it shows how broad your mind is and how creative it is. So my question is, for a graphic designer, at what level should the person be creative in what you are doing? Should you just be somebody that, okay, you can just see something and just use, or you have a standard, or you must be that expert in creativity? Because this image is still, I'm just sitting down to just, because it's something I can sit the whole day to look at it and start looking at how for you to pick the ribbon and blend them with the soil and whatever, and the cat and caterpillar. That it's mind blowing. I really give you kudos. So how deep should one be?
I would. Okay, so to explain that. I mentioned earlier that as a designer, you are the eye of the community, which means that you see what other people do not see. And I went on to say you should always look beyond what you see as a designer. I learned this some many years back, even before I fully got into design. I just knew that you have to look beyond what you see, right? So as a designer, to answer your question in stages, first is you have to be creative at all times. At all times. You wake up, you are creative. You are going to bed, you are creative. You are eating, you are creative. You are walking on the road, you are creative. You are creative at all times. Which means that if after 3 days of you not designing, and I call you up that I need a design to give me something spectacular, because why? You are always creative. That's one. Two is research. Research is everything. In fact, I could spend 3 hours on research and 30 minutes on execution. Why? Because in research, your mind is expanded. In research, you get to see what other people have done. And guess what? We are over 10 billion people in the world. And which means that at least another 1 billion people have done or are doing the same thing that you are about to do. Which also means that there are examples for you to see. Okay, so I think another thing I would do during the practical class, if somebody can jot this down so you remind me when we get there, when we see, is I will show you design inspiration and design execution. So I'll show you what inspired the design and what the design looks like. Because when you research, you get to see lots of inspiration. And I mentioned something yesterday. I said, still like an artist. What does that mean? It means that if you see another design that was designed with ribbon, you think about it, okay, ribbon. I'm doing something that has to do with gifts. Ribbon is usually used to tie gifts, right? Oh, cool. Okay, this person tied a car with a ribbon. Me, selling a land. How can I tie land with ribbon? You're now thinking. This is all in your research. Do you get? I've not even started designing it when all these conversations are playing in my head, but they are playing because of the images I see while I'm researching. And then I go on to say, okay, I'll take ribbon from this. And in my research, as I'm going on, I now saw another person somewhere tie a ribbon on a floor. I say, oh, I could do this. So this way, tie a ribbon on a main road. I could tie a ribbon on a land. And then the idea pops. And all I do, I go online, type for an image of a land. I get it. Go online, search for an image of a ribbon. I get it. And then I put them together. Now, attention to details is not just leaving it as land and ribbon. Is what? Making them blend so that you can see that, oh, this ribbon is part of the land. And it's not just an ordinary land. There are trailers and tractors and caterpillars walking on the land. What these trailers and caterpillars or whatever these tractors show here is that this is a vast space of land tied in with a ribbon. How did all of this come about? Research. Okay? I still said it on Monday and I said it yesterday and I'll say it today. Pinterest is your best place to visit as a designer. Reduce your time on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, or Twitter. Go and sleep on Pinterest. Trust me. You thank me, in fact. In fact, next Valentine, you will give me this gift. I did not force you. I'm not there. Anyway, so we can actually use the same design for a Christmas advert. You see? Now you are beginning to do research and see the light. Okay, so Emmanuel, go ahead. After Emmanuel, we'll move to the next image. So Emmanuel, go ahead, please.
Okay, I would like you to just throw more light in concerning logos. Now, one thing I've taken notes for this is to know most of their logos are in white variations. But then this cracking now, we have it blue and later white. So when we have it, I know most companies or organizations can have like white, different several other variations of their logos. So how do we like play around with them?
Okay, so I know this is not a logo class, but it's fine. You people can take this one for free. Every logo has a black and white variation. Okay? Why do logos have that? Because in cases, so let me even just break it to you. The real color of this Itunu logo is actually green, which is where this ribbon being green came about. Right? That's where the green ribbon came about. That is where the green in now selling, that's where it came about as well. Okay, so every logo has white variants. So the reason why it changes to white is because of the background where it is placed. If you look closely, you cannot use green on this. It will almost be invisible. Green on this background would not work. Green on this would also not work. Do you get so? Hence, it is white. All right. So now to the next image. Merry Christmas. For those of you that were talking about Christmas just now, Merry Christmas in advance. Good. Good, good, good. Okay, so I have an update information for everybody. So everybody that has a question for logo and all of that, the practical classes start on Monday, and you would get to actually see how this comes into play. You get to see what a logo looks like, how to create a logo, and the kind of variations that come in with logos. All right. So if you have more logo questions, save them. On Monday, it's practical class. We'll get there and we'll talk about all the logos. Now, let's focus on the image we have before us here. Father Christmas, property, design. All right. Somebody talk to me. Why are people acting like you are like a bastard? Talk to me. Talk to me. Ha 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 ha. Emmanuel says this is mind blowing. Hey, please don't blow your mind away. Practical class starts on Monday. I say people should say something you are doing wow and mind blowing and all these things. Please talk to me. Are we not all together again?
Yeah,
Please talk to me.
So I'm not talking on the flyer.
You're not talking on the fly. What are you talking about?
I want to ask something because
good.
there's something I see there. Though I was once seeing it somewhere, but I don't know how it is being mentioned.
What do you see?
This, I wish I can just sketch it here. There's this like a triangle.
Everybody are just writing wow and wow and wow. Go on,
perspective, something like that. Do you always do a perspective measurement for your designs and for it to be balanced? Because there's a balance in this design, the house and everything. That's so it looks like the perspective is just balanced. That's the thing. So do you usually do a perspective measurement for your designs?
I will tell you this very simple thing. What I do is follow the principles of design. Simple. I will take away this image or all this reaction I'm seeing for this image. I will take it off now. I will remove this image. I will remove this image away now. Remind me to take it off. Okay?
So the design is okay for me. It's okay.
Oh, thank you, Adeko. Okay, Daniel, please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity once again. This is actually a very
sorry. Hold on a bit, Daniel.
Okay.
Hold on. Sorry, just a minute. I wanted to just point out something. Okay, so now all of you that said, "Wow, Omo, this is that," emojis and everything. All of you, after Daniel speak, you come and speak one by one. You tell me what you see, because this while you are doing, the rest of the class needs to know what it means. Okay, so Daniel, go ahead, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Actually, it's a very, very creative design, and it's passing across a message, like a gifting for a particular season. It is a seasonal design. You don't really see it. You don't really see it all the time. You cannot use it to pass across message all the time, like month to month. It is a creative design that goes with a particular season. So it's projecting an offering, like, okay, this is what you get for this season. I think that's what I can really say. I'm very, very creative.
That is it. Thank you. All right, Mr. Matthew, go ahead, please.
Mr. Joseph, wow, anytime I see your work, I'm sure that if they are doing rating in Nigeria, it should be in top 10. And each time you pop up your design, there is always a standout. There is always a standard. There is always something that is resonating. There is something that is talking to you. Either the image, the letters, the way it's arranged, the contrast, the font, the hierarchy, everything blend, they resonate, they pointing from the, we know that it's Christmas period, and we are seeing for the Christmas image, and the image that if you get this flyer and the flyer is telling you this Christmas, the best gift you can get is to get a house. But what struck me more in this image is on the right left hand side, the trees, or the image where the tree was behind the image, and you brought I mean, that should be above the image and even more greener. Man, that is a mind-blowing thing. You are just wonderful. And I pray that God will take you places. And we'll pray that in future, you will be so proud that you also pass your knowledge to us. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure knowing you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Matthew. Pleasure is all mine. Okay, now for all of you that have been commenting, the first person to comment, Emmanuel. All right, Emmanuel, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Okay, actually, I don't even know what to say, but I mean, the creativity in the design is just mind blowing. Like, I mean, even looking at the gift bag, the decoration, that's the white, we like call it feathers around the land, the shadows, everything. It's top notch. Like, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I don't think I have anything to say. But like, one thing we just want to ask, if we can maybe like use this design as a case study to just at least show us from scratch to finish. Maybe during the practical class or something.
No problem. That can happen. That can be arranged. Just be at the practical class, and you benefit that. Okay. So you people that are shouting wow, I want you to ask questions. Be asking questions like, how did you think about this? How, ask questions of how, what, why. Those kind of questions will help you to understand better how this was done than just be shouting wow, 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 wow. Oh God. Okay. Grace, go ahead and speak, please.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Joseph.
Good morning.
Thank you for the teaching so far. I've gained a lot. Okay, we're talking about logo earlier, and when you brought in this image, I was actually looking at the logo, and I noticed the Christmas cap on it. I believe that the logo initially does not have a Christmas cap. Probably because you're passing a message for the season of Christmas, you added a Christmas cap, and that's great. I love that, sir. And I believe that the green tree behind the building was added to complement the color of Christmas. I believe so. You are doing well, sir. Thank you very much for the teaching so far.
That was good. Good that you spotted that. Amen, amen, amen. All of you praying for me. God bless you too. All right. See, the aim of this class is not to show you how good my work is to show you how good you can become if you put in the work. What is the work you are needing to put in here? Attention to details, stay consistent, do your research, and practice. Really. Because guess what? One day, some few years ago, not too far, I was somewhere like this, listening to somebody speaking. And I just knew that I have to be like this person or be better than this person. So I was telling, I think it was Matthew yesterday, I said, there's room for overtake. You can become better than me in another 2 years. It's all dependent on you. All right? So it's not about, I want to show you how great my designs are. No, it's about me showing you how great you can become when you put these things that we're learning into practice. It's all about you, really. It's not really about me. Okay, Ganiyu, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Your work. If actually I check somebody's work and I admire it and I said it is beautiful, I don't just look at the beauty. One thing that comes to my mind is the workability. How did you go about it? How did you do this? How did you do that? And I think of the process. The reason being that my profession actually, I'm a medical practitioner, but I love design. That's why I enjoy it. So when we look at things, when they say, this thing happened, immediately as a medical practitioner, we go down to think about how those processes came about, how this led to this, what the person ate, this and that. So when I was looking at the picture, what struck my mind is, how did you, there are two pictures combined into one. The color, the bringing of the gift of Father Christmas, how did you blend the bag to that building that the bag is not somehow overlapping or the building, becoming bigger? And even at the tip of the bag, we were even showing it as if the bag got turned and the building came out from the something which was not in the original picture.
Image.
So those things started. I couldn't this. I had to give it a tag, perfect, because I know one day you will teach me and I will learn how to go about it. But it's a very good. I really wish to know how you blended those things, even the background. The background of the building formerly was somehow ash, but you blended the background
Blended
to
into a
butter
Christmas
color
background.
without any shadowing, showing at the back of the bag as if probably one is being juxtaposed on the other. It gives me a lot of thinking. How did you go about it? I want to know.
Okay, so
thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. So I like that direction. I like where your question is coming from. Somebody asked if this can be done in Canva. Depends on you. So this is what I like to always say to people. The software does not make the design. Who makes the design is the designer. And as a designer, you cannot give what you do not have. So if you have it in you to be ultra creative, trust me, no software can stop you, whether Canva or not. The highest thing that can happen is you go to Photoshop, bring this image here, go to Corridor, bring that image there, go to Illustrator, bring this one there, and do everything in Canva. As long as it achieves the purpose you want. So it can be achieved in Canva if you put in the work. So the reason why we're learning the different softwares. So for tomorrow, one of my colleagues will come and show you the different interface of the softwares, how they look like. I know some of you are already used to. We've seen Photoshop, we've had CorelDRAW, we've had Adobe Illustrator. It will show you what those interface looks like and how different they are from each other. That will be what you'll be going through tomorrow, right? So then on Monday, practical class and the likes, then we'll see next week. But for how this was done, first, like I always say, research. I had to do a research. In fact, what I saw was a bit different from what I created. So the inspiration will always be, like I said, the inspiration will always be different. So what you see here is image of the Father Christmas dragging a gigantic bag. And then the building is big enough or small enough to fit into that bag because the metaphor we're trying to put here is that he's dragging the building. But of course, you will not be able to drag a building. That's why the bag tore, and you can see that. That is why it's relatable. The bag will tear, and it did. Right? Now, someone says, how did that bag get popped up at the edge, looking like the house won't fit? The question is, would the house actually fit? It won't. So how that happened is part of my research. It's part of the research. You are the one that tears it up and off, right? So we're already having quite a good time, and there are still a few images to show. So for the images coming up, I will just go through them very quickly. Yes, it is. So this is another one. I would not want us to dwell too much on it. You look at these images, take notes, take a screenshot or take a picture. We could talk about them in the practical class. I have just a few more minutes to go. Take a look at this. Remember this guy? I'm sure you people remember him. For those of you that said the guy was actually moving. So this is the original picture of that guy. This is the original picture of the guy. And this is where we got to. So you see that the floor was not red and the background was not white. It was what? Created. It was edited, rather, to be like that. And I remember mentioning that if you get an image that looks like what you want, but does not give you exactly what you want, all you have to do is edit it to fit into what you want. And you've seen that that's what we've been doing all through. We've been editing images to fit into what we want. Editing images to fit into what we want. Editing. That's what we've been doing. Right? Of course, these ones. So, yeah. So, any last questions? Let's pick your questions for the last 15 minutes that we have to spare with you. So, let's take questions on this. Ayomide, please go ahead. Oh, dropped his hand. Go on, Mr. Machi.
Good afternoon, once again.
Oh, Ayomide is already. All right, Ayomide,
Hello.
continue, please. Go ahead. I
Yeah,
can hear
good
you.
afternoon. Thanks so much. I actually
Morning.
joined the class a bit late, and I've
Oh,
not been
okay.
able to connect to the class started. But the little I've seen, I'm very much impressed, and I can't wait for the practical class to start.
Good.
So
Good.
I just
See you on Monday then. Go on.
I would like to know if there is an opportunity to speak to you outside this space.
You have a job for me.
You said?
So you have a job for me?
No, I just have some questions.
Okay. Yeah, you can ask all the questions now. So you want to benefit alone. Ask the questions so that the other people in the class will benefit as well. You people, are you seeing Ayomide, your supposed class member, is saving questions that you want to ask privately? Is it fair?
Actually, some of the questions can be asked in the physical class next
Okay,
week.
but some of them.
So in order not to
Then the
bore
other
us.
set. Okay,
The other set
of
of
the
question
questions.
is somehow peculiar to me and maybe some other people.
As long as some other people are involved, go ahead. Okay, so let's do it this way. Ask 2 of the questions, then we'll talk about the others in the
Okay.
practical class.
One of the
Remember to
questions
write them
is,
down. So you ask me. Go ahead.
okay, one of the questions I would like to ask is concerning the physical class. For some of us that go to work, is there any plan or any makeup class for us? Because that 9 to 3 is almost the whole day off work, and it's Monday to Friday. So I'd like to know if there is a plan put in place to accommodate those of us that are working and will not be able to make it physically for that period.
Oh, I see. I see. I see. Okay. So all of these questions regarding the practical classes, have you guys been added to a group? I'm sure that should have been done by now. You should have been added to a group,
I haven't been
right?
added though. That's part of the issue I had, that I could not join on Monday and yesterday. I was expecting the link
Oh,
to join the class on my mail, but I didn't get any. I sent a mail that Monday. I did not receive any feedback.
a response. Okay, so that will be sorted. Most people will be most people should be in the groups, and you'll be in cohorts. Yes, Adeokun says in cohort 1, and it's not Monday to Friday. See? So anyway, more information about the practical class will be shared on the group for you guys. So Ayomide, just drop your full name and your email on the group chat, and somebody would respond to you. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. So would that be all?
For now. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
All right, cool. You're welcome. All right. Any other question? We still have 5 minutes. Any other question?
My hand is
Mr.
raised up.
Matthew.
Okay,
Okay, go
thank
ahead.
you. Though mine is not a question, mine is just to appreciate you, the team, and the organizers of this program. I want to really appreciate everyone that put these things together, and I'm sure that I'm speaking the mind of everyone that is on this platform, because we can't. It's something that is worth $1 million of naira or dollar out there, but I don't know who brought this up, and we want to really appreciate everyone. We want to really appreciate you joining the theoretical class, and online class alone has really been a blessing, and I can't wait to be part of the practical class. And with the 3 days that we've been with you, it has been educative. It has been interactive, and we really love the way you've been handling it, and we appreciate you. So once again, I'm appreciating the team, and we are appreciating you more, and we are appreciating the organizers. Like the lady that talks about the classes is, but there are 3 days and 2 days and 3 days. And so yeah, I think, like what they said, I'm sure they will tell us for people that cannot make it those days how it will be done. Thank you once again, and God bless you.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So every question you have regarding the practical classes, the admin will address those questions. Okay. And be reminded, the practical classes start on Monday. They start on Monday. So, and all of these things you see, all these things that look like magic to you will be demystified, and you will be able to do some of them. And then in the long run, you'll be able to do most of them. And as the time progresses, you'll be able to do all of them and more, right? So they will share the link. The link to the WhatsApp group is on the chat section. The link to the WhatsApp group is on the chat section. So check the links. Okay. So I would call it a day. It has been an amazing 3 days of getting to share my thoughts, my ideas, my slides, knowledge with you guys. It is my utmost pleasure, and I'm very grateful. Thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you, sir.
Okay, so this is the link. Okay, so this is the link. That's the link to the group on the chat. Please, everybody, go ahead and join. Dimeji just dropped the link. Check the chat. You will see them. Oh, Gani, all right. Go ahead. Let me hear you. I'm already out of time.
Yeah.
Go on.
So the mail they sent. So
Yes.
they sent the mail concerning the days we are supposed to attend. There's like a calendar. And it shows one shows the cohort 2 for specific days in blue color and the other one in white color. So, but you were mentioning Monday, and we see on Monday. And that particular calendar is saying Tuesday for
Tuesday.
So
Right. So what I was referring to is that the practical classes start on Monday. Do you get? So you in your own course follow the timetable given to you. Do you get?
Okay. Because of
yes,
work, like
please.
maybe I have to go to work.
Yeah. No problem. Follow the calendar given to you. Ayomide, okay, your question.
Please, can I get
Go
the
ahead.
recording yesterday, Monday and yesterday's class?
It's available on YouTube.
Physical class.
It's available on YouTube, and also the slides are available in the WhatsApp group. And I think it will be reshared for those of you that are just joining the groups so that you could get a copy of it. These slides you see here, all these things will be shared to you. All right.
Okay,
thank you. You are welcome. Thank you. Emmanuel, all right, that will be the last question. All right, Emmanuel, go ahead.
All right. Somebody asked a question earlier on the group about the apps or softwares that we need to get installed. So I don't know if you like to share, like, what, or do we just come on Monday and everything will be sorted out there, or we should prepare on our end? Like, what softwares do we need to get on our PCs before coming?
Oh, I see. Okay, those informations will be shared to you on the WhatsApp group as well. Okay, so but majorly is CorelDRAW, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop. Those three softwares, but more information on that will be shared to you on the groups. What's suitable software? I just mentioned the three of them. So check the link. The YouTube link has been posted on the group, so you can check it for those of you that didn't join in or had network glitches. Okay. All right. Thank you very much and have a very great day. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
You are all welcome.